We'll start our meeting with a pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We have introductions. Tom?
Yes, sir, we do. Mr. Raymond, you wanna begin?
Sure.
Okay. Go ahead and take the photo.
Clermont Transportation Connection is pleased to welcome back Miss Randy Wiesner, who has previously worked for us in the dispatch office and as a bus operator. We're very happy to have her back. Her knowledge and information about our service is invaluable.
Is she going to be a vehicle operator?
She's a vehicle operator currently, yes.
Okay. Very good.
In what kind of vehicle is she?
CDL.
Which kind of vehicle is she running?
CDL big
She's
one.
a CDL vehicle. She can drive anything we have.
There you go.
So.
Yep.
It's good to
Thank
have you.
you.
Thanks
Very
for
good.
coming back.
Thank you.
Job and Family Service.
Judy Eschman?
Good morning, Judy
Morning.
Eschman, Job and Family Services. It's my pleasure this morning to introduce Daniel Dahl, who prefers to be called DJ. He's the newest member of our Children's Services team. He comes to us with a bachelor's in psychology. He's worked with children that have some behavioral issues and developmental disabilities, so we're excited to have him.
Very good.
Great. Welcome, Daniel.
Welcome.
Pleasure, guys. Thank you.
You bet.
DJ, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Lau Bloom and Suki Sheets?
Morning.
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 All right, this morning we have first employee is Doug Martin. Doug is a Class 3 wastewater operator. He's working at our Lower East Fork wastewater treatment plant. Doug actually retired from Clermont County after 33 years of service. He did some other work, actually worked for the Village of Moscow, but he retired from Clermont County about 4 years ago. So we're glad to have him back. Again, working at Lower East Fork brings obviously a lot of experience and knowledge back to the county. Next, we have Caleb Gruber. Caleb graduated from Eastern Brown High School, lives in Brown County. He completed the American Water College course through Fresno State to receive his wastewater treatment level 1 certificate. So we'll be preparing to take his Class 1 operator license, he says, this fall. We're happy to have Caleb here. He's working at the Middle East Fork wastewater treatment plant.
Good. Welcome.
And is that where you worked before when you were with the county?
I've worked there a few times, yeah, and pretty much, I think I worked at all the plants and some that aren't around anymore.
So Doug worked at some that, we've abandoned and no longer exist, but he's.
I outlasted them.
There you go. Good for you.
And you get to start out brand new, huh?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, fantastic. Good to have you.
Thank you.
Good to have you both. Thank you.
Okay, and on the other side of water resources, we've got a new addition in our water resources fiscal position. This is a position that hasn't been full-time for quite a while, so Jim Steinmetz, a native Clermont County resident of Amelia, is joining us after a long career at Millicron as a controller. Jim will add a lot of value to the fiscal oversight of the district, the department, and we're pleased to have him with us.
Welcome.
Jim, thanks for coming.
Pleasure to be here.
You bet. And out of our new employees today, does any of the employees is any of your family here today with you? Does anybody have a family member here?
So happens my wife is here.
Oh, that would happen to be.
Works in the treasury department.
There you go.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
We need to get Connie up there too with us. We'll talk about that in just a moment.
Go ahead, they want you up there. Sorry about your work.
Well, if we're going to do it, we better.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So
Get up there.
Why not?
just
Yeah.
Just take a second before we do that picture. There's one new employee here who has not been introduced yet. Connie, if you'd stand up. And Connie Tibby and Judy, you might want to say something.
Connie has rejoined the Board of County Commissioners office. She's always been under the jurisdiction of the Board of County Commissioners. Been here a number of years. We sconced her from the Department of Job and Family Services, who about 4.5 years ago did the same to us, so turnabout's fair play. Happy to have Connie here. Her position is Assistant Clerk of the Board, and Monday was her very first day.
Glad to have you back.
And she
Connie.
has friends in the audience, too.
There you go. And who does she have in the audience? Friends.
She has Elizabeth Betsy Haddad.
There you go. So, gather around here, step back here in front of the seal, and we'll try to get everybody in if we can.
So I feel like I should do that.
No, you're fine. You're fine. We'll move down a little bit. Center us up there for Steve. Kathleen, wherever we need to go.
Shoulder sides. Mm-hmm.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, and one more, 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
There you go.
I just got what you said.
Get your picture taken. You know they're talking about you. Oh, kidding. Just kidding.
We have minutes from September 26th, and I think we've had an opportunity to review those. Is there a motion to approve those minutes, September 26th?
So moved.
I'll second that motion.
Mr. Painter,
Yes.
Mr. Ubel,
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey.
Aye. And then we have a consent agenda. It was mailed to us on Friday. I think we've had a chance to look it over. If there are any items that need to be pulled from the consent agenda, we can do that. Else I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as prepared.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as shown.
Is there a second?
Second?
Mr. Ubel,
Yes.
Mr. Painter,
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey.
Aye. That takes us over to page 4, item 10. Board of County Commissioners resolution to pay our bills. Resolution 160-18. Pay our bills in the amount of $1,163,469.22. Do we have a motion to approve that resolution?
So moved?
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Painter,
Yes.
Mr. Ubel,
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey.
Aye. Item 11.
Morning, Commissioners. Adele Evans, Assistant Director of Community and Economic Development. Item number 11 is a recommendation of Andy Kukta, the Director of our department, with the concurrence of Tom Eigel, County Administrator, to adopt Resolution number 161-18 to approve the execution of an Ohio Enterprise Zone Agreement between the Board of Trustees of Miami Township, the Board of County Commissioners, Metal Systems F&E LLC, an Ohio Limited Liability Company, with its main offices located at 1275 U.S. Highway 50 in Miami Township, and Donald and Joanne Kellerman, property owners with main offices at the same location, for the granting of a 60% tax exemption for 10 years on real property improvements made as part of the project. As identified in the referenced agreement, said exemptions commencing no later than December 31st, 2022, and not extending beyond December 31st, 2032, pursuant to Section 5709.61 through 5709.69, inclusive of the Ohio Revised Code, and in compliance with the terms and conditions in consideration of the investment to be made by Metal Systems in Donald and Joanne Kellerman for the expansion and retention of economic development, as well as the preservation and creation of employment opportunities within the designated boundaries of the Rural Jobs and Enterprise Zone in Clermont County, and to direct the Clerk of the Board to forward the agreement between the Miami Township Trustees, Clermont County Commissioners, Metal Systems, and Donald and Joanne Kellerman to the Ohio Development Services Agency, the Ohio Department of Taxation, and the Clermont County Auditor. We have worked with Mr. Kellerman previously as he has inquired on about this particular tax abatement program on previous projects, but the timing never worked out. So this project has a minimum of $1.3 million investment at the project site, which is 1036 Technicenter Drive in Miami Township, which is Park 50. And the entire investment is eligible for the exemption. The applicant is proposing to construct a 14,000 square foot building. And Metal Systems will retain 15 existing positions with an annual payroll of $750,000. And the company is also committed to creating 6 new jobs in the next 3 years for an additional payroll amount of $180,000. Project, if approved today, would begin later this month. And the construction installation would be completed by October 21 if the tax incentive is granted. And we do have Betsy Haddad here representing Kellerman Company if you have any other questions that I cannot answer.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions? We have a motion to approve Resolution 161-18 is contained in item 11.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, Judith.
Well, with Betsy
sorry.
here, should we make a comment, Betsy, being a representative of Kellerman?
Morning.
Morning.
I'm Betsy Haddad. I'm here today on behalf of the Kellerman Company, and we appreciate your support of this project. It would not be moving forward without the coordination of the county and Miami Township. Don Kellerman's been in business in Clermont County for 40 years. This is the first enterprise zone agreement he's entered into with anyone, so we're excited and happy about the project.
You good?
What is Metal Systems? Is that part of Kellerman, the business?
Metal Systems is a partner of Kellerman, and they do metal fabricating, heavy-duty metal fabricating. So it'll house, the warehouse will house, it'll house office space for employees and then warehouse space for machinery and lots of metal.
Very good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye. Thanks for being with us today. Item 12.
Good morning, all. Agenda item number 12 is a recommendation of Wade Grabowski, Clermont County Facilities Management, with the concurrence of Mr. Thomas J. Eigel, County Administrator, to ratify a contract for minor public improvement projects by and between the Board of County Commissioners of Clermont and Finish Line Floors of Minnesota for the floor stripping and resealing at the Clermont County Family Support Center in accordance with the scope of services identified in Exhibit A, attached thereto and made a part thereof, at a cost not to exceed $48,160.56, pursuant to and in compliance with the terms and conditions set forth therein, and contingent upon the release of the required purchase order in concert with requisition number 4449, dated July 18th, 2018, relative thereto.
Okay, do we have a motion to ratify the contract as contained in item 12?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? Roll call.
How big an area are we talking about, Wade?
Roughly about 17,000 square feet.
Okay.
Quite a lot. Any other questions?
Yep.
Okay. Roll call.
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Item 13.
Sorry, you have the documentation, but that's okay. If you recall, last month, Miami Township submitted a request for us to vacate a portion of a roadway in Miami Township under the expedited, that's what I'm calling it, the expedited method, where you didn't have to go view, you didn't have to have a legal notice posted. The township had certain responsibilities. The county had responsibilities if it chose to invoke those. Previous prosecutorial attorneys have indicated that, no, we didn't have to, but it's probably in our best interest to make sure no one's landlocked, whatever. And we have a request from the Batavia Township trustees, which we received on September 13th. A a copy of their Resolution 9-04-2018. They adopted it on September 10th, requesting us to vacate Union Street, that's all of Union Street, situated within Maywood subdivision, located in Batavia Township as described, pursuant to and in compliance with Section 5553.045 of the Ohio Revised Code. We have a preliminary report from the county engineer dated September 27th, in and as it relates to that request, and to establish the date, time, and location of the public hearing. In accordance therewith, public hearing to be held on Wednesday, October 24th at 11 a.m. in our offices. So we simply need to acknowledge the receipt of it and to proceed forthwith.
We have a motion to acknowledge the receipt and proceed.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye. Item 14.
Good morning. 14 are our financials for this week. We have quite a few. I'm going to summarize a couple of them, but I'll go into some details on the others. First, in the Community Transportation Connection Fund, in the other expenses, an increase of $174,859. This is for transferring out of the CTC operating fund over to their capital fund for the local match on the buses. The bus bids are in and it will be awarded shortly, and we know what the local share is going to be. So in order to cover that, we're transferring these funds over to we'll be transferring them to the capital fund. This is to appropriate to do that. Then the next two are in the Concealed Weapons Licensing Fund, regular salaries of $11,880 and fringe benefits of $2,047.41. They actually have a new employee that is being paid for out of these separate funds, these specified funds for concealed weapons. The number of licenses have increased again. Their revenues are up. They actually have still $1.1 million unappropriated in that fund. So they're going to go ahead and appropriate about $13,000 of that. We have quite a few in the RIDs. Every year, the RIDs are our residential improvement district funds, and they're all separated by the specific area. Every year we go through and have to adjust for the actual amounts, because everything that comes in from the property taxes typically goes back out. So until we know what the actual receipts are, we don't have an actual appropriation. So in this case, we are increasing the Forest Glen RID, the Lexington Run RID, the Glenwood Trails RID, the Vista Meadows RID, and the Sunnymead RID, as well as the Ross Road RID. These are all increases in the appropriation because the revenues from those RIDs came in higher, right? And revenues have been changing every year because those revenues are based on the values of the property and the improvements that are done. So it's kind of hard to gauge what buildings are going to get done and what the values are going to increase from one year to the next. There were a couple we decreased. I think we had done that a week or two ago because those actually came in a little bit less. So those are the supplementals, but I did want to bring to light one of the items that was in the consent agenda was a transfer. That was the annual surplus transfer from the Certificate of Title Fund that the Clerk of Courts declared another $400,000 surplus. That comes back to general fund. So that was in your
Wonderful, and I'm glad you brought that to us.
Exactly, and we thank her every year for, one, creating that surplus from her receipts by maintaining her funds and transferring what she can to us.
And that came from Barb
Wienbein, right, yep. She has now the additional Beachmont office that she's been able to staff and create revenue streams from that. And still has been able to keep the $400,000 level.
And I think one of those was the portraits for passports or something too. Wasn't that a
She does
innovative?
Passports, right? Yeah, as far as that goes. But she does a lot of work with the auto titles through the different dealers, and they may not even be dealers in Clermont County. She may be doing them for Hamilton County. It's because she has such a quick turnaround. The dealers like working with her. They like the responses that they get from our clerk.
Well, I wish she was here. I wish she was here today. We could say as a board, thanks.
That's why I wanted to bring it up. Yep.
For her diligent, management and oversight there, and for her entire team that makes that actually possible. That's a great job.
They do good services.
Suki, before you leave on the RID
Yes.
service there, I know some of that RID, the revenue is actually for TID, is that correct?
Generally, what happens with all, we had originally established 15 RIDs. We have terminated 4 or 5 of them up in Goshen. The remaining RIDs bring in revenues every year based on the developments that have happened since 2005 when we established them. Every one of those RIDs has an agreement where we reimburse the schools for what they would have gotten had it not been for the RID. So they're the first group that we distribute monies to. We also have an agreement on the ones that are in Batavia Township that the money that they would have gotten had it not been for the RID will be held for them and distributed as they do projects within the township that benefit those RID districts. The majority of that lately has been for the park that they have up, I believe it's on Clough, behind their admin building. So they've been doing a lot of work up there, and that benefits all of the Batavia Township residents. And finally, what will happen with the balance is we will utilize that to cover our Transportation Improvement District commitment that we've made. So because a lot of what they're doing is benefiting these RID districts. We've got the districts, the majority of them are in Batavia Township. We have a few left in Goshen, and then we have the one in Miami Township.
Does that pretty much take up the whole thing, or is there some that still makes it to the general fund?
No, none of this ever comes back to general fund right now.
And it cannot. RIDs cannot come to the general.
RID restrictions on the revenues are for the purposes that are stated in the different resolutions when the RIDs were established, and the majority of those were transportation. Okay, it's not, it's not limited to transportation, but it is limited to benefiting those RID districts. Okay. So we could do some additional things, maintenance or whatever, but it has to be within a RID district.
Okay. Thank you.
So we have a motion to approve the supplemental appropriations as contained in item 14.
So moved.
Second the motion.
Discussion. Roll call, Judith.
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye. Item 15.
Item number 15, I'll gladly handle on that. Item number 15 is a recommendation to adopt resolution number 162-18, resolving to oppose the proposed amendment to the Ohio Constitution known as Issue 1, which will be presented to the voters of the state of Ohio on November the 6th, 2018, and if passed, will have disastrous results for the residents of Clermont County and the state of Ohio. It will expose Ohioans to an increase in substance abuse activity and criminal behavior, as there will be little or no consequences for engaging in such. Will further financially burden Clermont County and other counties in Ohio already faced with significant funding reductions, and it will shift the financial burden from the state to Clermont County, thereby damaging Clermont County's physical health and increasing the tax burden on Clermont County citizens, and hereby strongly encourage the voters of Clermont County to vote no on Issue 1.
You make that as a motion?
I do. So moved.
Is there a second?
And I'll second that motion.
Discussion? I'm equally concerned. I think we all are. CCAO came out as opposed to it as well, and several other organizations. So.
The Ohio Sentencing Commission is opposed to, but, as I have a little discussion here on this board, it's everyone realizes that there needs to be something done in Ohio with the sentencing structure as it pertains to substance abuse disorders. However, this particular document takes the ability of judges and the criminal system to be able to encourage and or require those that violate the law in possession and trafficking to seek such rehabilitation.
We've also heard from all of our common pleas judges who are also opposed to Issue 1. So it made it much easier for us to consider what was obvious. It was very obvious at this point, so. Okay.
Roll call.
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye. We have a need for executive session. Is there anything else before that?
We have an add-on, Mr. Raymond from CPC.
Hello again. It's this is in concern to the bus bid that we actually were looking at appropriating money for. And it's recommendation of myself, John Raymond, Director of CTC, with the concurrence of Thomas J. Agel, County Administrator, to approve the request to extend the expiration for the bid award of CTC-2018-1, which was an RFP for the buses, from October 9, 2018 to December 7, 2018, in order to allow for additional time to provide an acceptable contract between the Clermont County Board of Commissioners and Gillig LLC. Quite frankly, I'm not fluent in contract language yet, and what I put together wasn't acceptable. So I'm hoping for a little bit more time to get something together that is acceptable.
Do you want a motion to extend the bid period?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And do we have a date specific then?
It's right on your,
I didn't. I
Yeah,
don't-
from October 9th to
I'm
December
sorry,
7th.
don't have that.
actually, it's somewhere over there.
It's,
on the
I'm,
left-hand side.
I've hidden it.
Would you
Okay.
like my copy, sir?
No.
No, he has one.
Okay.
I take it October 9th was the
It's
final
the
date.
61st day.
Okay, that's what.
Do we have a motion to approve the request to extend the bid expiration date to from October 9th to December 7th?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Discussion?
These buses are taking a long time.
These buses have taken a little while.
They have.
They do take a long time, though. Anything else?
That's it.
Judith?
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Anything else? Okay. We have a need for executive session pursuant to 121.22 G2 and G3 of the Ohio Revised Code to consider the sale of property at competitive bidding, and two, to confer with the prosecuting attorney regarding pending or imminent litigation respectively. Do we have a motion to go into executive session under those two sections of the code?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye. We'll be back. We're back from executive session. No decisions were made. Do we have any add-ons?
Yes, sir.
Then it's time for public comment. Is there anyone here that wishes to address the board? If not, then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye. That concludes our business for today. Thanks for joining us, and God bless.